In the chaos and struggle and blood, sweat, and tears of making your organization, your startup, your entrepreneurship successful, what are the mistakes that constantly get in the way? The things that can ruin every good thing you're trying to accomplish.
We got a problem, David?
Nah, it's okay. I know your routine. It's a pattern. It's for effect. But it's for them. All right?
Oh, you're special.
There are mistakes that leaders make, and when their passion outruns their patience, that can lose them teams, lose them success, and turn them into people who easily assign blame.
How about you and I be honest about what each of us want out of this? I want to milk the last ounce of baseball you got in you, and you want to stay in the show. Let's do that.
What are the mistakes that constantly get in the way of every good thing we're trying to accomplish as leaders? Entrepreneurs, startups, running small, struggling organizations where you have to do so many things. Well, what are the mistakes that constantly get in the way? And what can we do about them? My name's James Callahan, and this is the Do-Over-Show, where we don't just talk about mistakes, we actually change them into success. So please tap the like button and let's look at a recent article from CNBC from consultants that look at how executives struggle to get out of their own way in their startups, in their entrepreneurship, and in their smaller organizations. Hey, in my work as an executive consultant and helping leaders with messaging, these mistakes, they're everyday things that happen. I see them every day. So let's go through those top mistakes and see what we can do to eliminate them. And hey, if you stick around to the end, I'll give you an extra mistake, a bonus mistake. But first, let's start with the reality. The work that you're doing as a leader in a small organization in your startup is hard work. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of effort. You don't work just 40 hours and then turn things off. You're living, breathing, sleeping with your effort to be successful, to make something stick, to build sustainability. So it's understandable that passion can outrun our patience.
Run, Forrest, run!
But let's look at those mistakes and learn from them, the things that always get in our way, and what we can do about it. And the first one is taking the bait. That is, when somebody on our team, somebody in the organization, somebody puts a question to us, most of us think, well, I've got the answer, or I need to answer this. That is, we take the bait and try to solve every single problem ourselves. And we get into the short-term problem-solving business rather than building a team and encouraging others to have buy-in themselves, encouraging them to, instead of answering with an authoritative response, the decision maker, we come back to them and say, let's work through this together. Let's find a solution that will work for you and that will work for us so that we can get from this point to a more successful outcome.
You're smart. You get what we're trying to do here. Make an example for the younger guys. Be a leader. You can do that?
Part of undoing this problem is, instead of offering an answer, is looking at them and saying, okay, what have you tried so far? What are you seeing? What's not working? What might work? What are our options? And letting them explore with you in a genuine dialogue what it is that you want to see out of this, and that is you want to improve their role in your team, in your startup. You want to make them more important to your organization. Now, that gets to the heart of one of the problems, and that is, for an entrepreneur and someone in a small organization, we think that every success is on us. Actually, every success is on our team, and when we hire, we're hiring people that we then work for. Our goal is to make them successful. Hey, and that means we got to stop saying egotistical things like, I hire smart people.
I've built a lot of my success off finding these truly gifted people.
I've known a lot of smart people, and they don't always accomplish the things that they need to. They're not always successful. They're smart, but all that is when we say, I like to hire smart people, or even, I like to hire people smarter than myself. All that is a little flex, a little ego boost. Instead, we want to hire people who have the ability to solve problems using their skill set and improving their capacity.
and not settling for B and C players, but really going for the A players. And I found something. I found that when you get enough A players together, when you go through the incredible work to find 5 of these A players, they really like working with each other because they've never had a chance to do that before.
What we want to hire are people that we're willing to work for, rather than looking at people who will just work for us and make us feel better. The second problem that comes up all the time is this idea that we want to give people a sense of buy-in, participation, involvement. So even though we've already made a decision, we hold a town hall or a discussion group or call another meeting in order to hear their input. When in the back of our mind, we've already made a decision. We know what we're going to do. This is called pseudo participation, where we give people the impression to make them feel better, but there's actually nothing that they're going to say that's going to change your mind. This pseudo participation actually builds distrust, or is it mistrust? It lacks trust is the point. When we give people this wrong, this false impression that we really do value them because they're so good and smart, but we've already decided things and we're just playing a game of listening to them. I've been in dozens of meetings where leadership has introduced a topic knowing full well the outcome and the plan, and they just want people to agree with them. They're not looking for solutions because they've already solved the problem. If that's the case, then what do you need them for except to execute your plan? Don't go through the false impression that they're important, because you already told them that you've made your decision, you're the one who's important. And that brings us to something that is vital in small teams and in startups, and that is to listen, to do a listening tour, to go to people and ask them questions about what's going on, what's working, what's not working, not when there's a fire, not when there's even a hint of smoke, not when there's a problem to be solved. Now, I know in the chaos of a startup and a struggling business with so much on your plate that there might not be a lot of moments like this. Well, that means you've got to create them. Creating these kind of moments for conversation, this listening tour that you'll do among your team. By the way, it can happen individually, good. It can happen in groups, small groups of people, or with your entire team, but it probably should happen both ways. Hey, now here's that bonus mistake that I promised you. And it's called the blame game. That is when things don't go right. And believe me, in your startup, in your entrepreneurship, in your small organization, when you're reaching for the stars, when you've got a team of 5, that you're going to find you reach some obstacles. And you're going to be tempted. We are so tempted. We're looking for blame. That is, we're looking to say, well, it's because of the economy, or it's because I didn't hire the right person, or it's because. We're always looking to excuse ourselves. The real role of a leader, not just a manager, not just someone who has power or the boss, but a leader, is someone who is able to develop solutions with their team out of the mistakes that will happen. Now, that means that when you succeed as a team, everyone that works for you, everyone that you've hired, everyone that you're leading, it's their success. But here's the downside. When we sign up to be leaders, entrepreneurs, startups, when we put our blood, sweat, and tears and all of our money and time and effort into this, if things don't go well, that's on us. Every mistake that happens is our mistake. Every success that happens is on your team. That's the contrariness of being a leader today, of working for your team, of finding your success in their success. And in all of our efforts to build success out of a struggling or startup situation, in all of its chaos, one of the strongest impulses that we need to embrace is not rescuing people. Not rescuing ourselves, not rescuing those that work for us. That is, don't just assign blame and don't just jump in and save everybody's neck. You don't need to be the savior, but you need to be the one who provides a way forward. Gives people a little runway, some distance where they can see things happening. Now that means, back to where we started, and that is that our passion can't outrun our patience. Hey, and I hope this quick look at leadership mistakes and solutions I hope it's been helpful, and please tap the like button, and while you're down there, please subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode of The Do-Over Show. I'm so glad you found me, and I found you. Thanks.
All right, I got you.